I sat at the dining table. My chopsticks paused midair. My husband, Li Jiangguo, put down his chopsticks and spoke with a stern face. Li Jiangguo stared at me. He said, word by word, Zhang Yun, we're both retired now. From now on, for household expenses, let's go Dutch. I froze in place. After 40 years of marriage, he'd always held on to my salary card. I looked up at Li Jiangguo. His face wore a smug, self-assured look. I suddenly laughed. I looked at him, and clearly uttered 2 words. Sure. Li Jiangguo jerked as if cleaning his ears. He leaned forward and asked in disbelief, what did you say? Say that again. I picked up some vegetables with my chopsticks and slowly put them in my mouth, chewing slowly, completely ignoring his shocked expression. After swallowing the food, I looked up at him with calm eyes. I said, fine, I agree to go Dutch. Li Jiangguo's mouth hung open, in the shape of an O, big enough to fit an egg. All his prepared arguments got stuck in his throat. He opened his mouth, but all those modern marriage principles, even brothers keep clear accounts. Not a single word came out. His face turned pale, then flushed, like a boxer who put all his strength into a punch, only to hit cotton. Utterly discomfited, Li Jiangguo pressed again. You're serious? I put down my chopsticks, took a napkin and wiped my mouth. Of course, I put down my chopsticks, pulled out a tissue and wiped my mouth. Of course, Li Jiangguo, we're both adults. We should be responsible for what we say. I stood up, started clearing my own dishes, left his used bowl and leftovers untouched on the table. Li Jiangguo followed me, shouting, Hey, Zhang Yun, what are you doing? Aren't you gonna wash this bowl? I rinsed my bowl clean and put it in the dish rack, leaned against the kitchen door frame and looked at him. I looked at him and said, Li Jiangguo, it's the first day of our AA arrangement. Have you forgotten? That's the bowl you used. Why should I wash it? Li Jiangguo was left speechless. His face flushed a deep, ugly red. His finger trembled as he pointed at me. Li Jiangguo roared, Are you rebelling against me? For decades, haven't you always done the dishes? I said calmly, that was before. We were husband and wife, everything was shared. Now you're the one who wanted to go AA. I counted on my fingers. You had 2 bowls of rice. I had 1 bowl. You ate 2/3 of this braised pork. I had 1/3. Li Jiangguo cut me off with a roar. Enough. He stormed over to the table, picked up the leftover braised pork and shoveled it into his bowl. He slurped it all down, sauce and all. He slammed the bowl into the sink, splashing water all over me. Li Jiangguo snapped. I ate my own share. Is that good enough for you? From now on, your food. I won't touch a single bite. He slammed the bedroom door shut behind him. Unbelievable. I'll eat my own food. Happy now. From now on, I won't touch a bite of your meals. He slammed the bedroom door shut. I looked at the greasy bowls in the sink and the oil stains on my clothes. I wasn't angry. In fact, I found it funny. I took off the oil-stained apron and tossed it into the washing machine. Back in the living room, I pulled a brand new notebook and pen from the drawer. On the first page of the notebook, I carefully wrote, Household ledger in bold letters. Below that, I wrote the first entry. October 10th. Dinner. Gas bill estimate, 50 cents. Water bill, 20 cents. Li Jiangguo owes 35 cents. I placed the notebook prominently on the living room coffee table. Then I walked into my own bedroom and locked the door from the inside. The next morning, Li Jiangguo woke up hungry. Usually, I'd have a hot breakfast ready by now. But today, the house was dead silent. He rolled over, holding his breath, thinking I was sulking, waiting for him to give in. He stubbornly refused to get up. He dawdled, finally getting dressed. He opened his bedroom door. He didn't see my resentful face. The living room was empty. A faint sound came from the kitchen. He walked over and saw me sitting at the small dining table, eating wontons. In front of me was a bowl of clear broth wontons and a small dish of vinegar. I ate without looking up. The kitchen smelled only of wontons. Li Jiangguo pulled out a chair and sat down heavily. He demanded, Where's my breakfast? I looked up, scooped a wonton with my spoon, and blew on it. I said slowly, At the market, you can go buy your own if you want some. At the wet market, if you want some, go buy it yourself. I pointed to the gas meter on the wall. It took me 5 minutes to cook the wontons. The gas meter moved. 0.02 units. I'll split it with you. I'll put it in the ledger. Li Jiangguo felt a vein throbbing in his temple. He slammed the table and yelled, Zhang Yun, don't go too far. I put down my spoon and looked at him seriously. Unreasonable. You're the one who wanted to split everything. And now you think it's unreasonable. Who's being unreasonable here? Li Jiangguo was caught off guard and felt a pang of guilt. He tried to bluff. When did I say I wouldn't contribute? I just wanted to manage our finances. I stood up and washed my bowl. From today on, all expenses go in the ledger, 50-50 split. You pay half for what I buy. I pay half for what you buy. I walked to the living room, picked up the ledger, and turned to a new page. I wrote down the gas used for the wontons and slid it in front of Li Jiangguo. I looked at him and said, The wontons used 0.02 units of gas. That's $1. You owe me 50 cents. You already owed me 35 cents from yesterday. That's 85 cents total. Cash or transfer? Li Jiangguo stared hard at the ledger. The writing on it felt like a knife to his eyes. He acted shamelessly, flopping onto the couch. Li Jiangguo shouted, "I'm not paying. I don't have the money. Don't you have my salary card? You pay for it first." I took 2 bank cards from the bedroom and slapped them on the coffee table with his salary card. I pointed at his salary card and said, "This one is your pension," and slapped it on the coffee table along with his salary card. I pointed at his salary card and said, "This is your retirement fund card, $6,800. Not a penny touched." I picked up another card. "This one is mine, $3,200. Before, we pooled our money together. I scrimped and saved every penny, to buy you good cigarettes and tea, to help out our kids, and to support your relatives back home." I paused and looked at him. "Now we're going Dutch. Your 6,008 is yours. My 3,002 is mine. You can keep the 85 cents you owe me. I'll put it on the tab and charge you interest." I picked up my bag and changed my shoes. I opened the door and walked out without looking back. Li Jiangguo sprang up from the couch and called after me, "Where are you going?" I stood at the door, turned back, and smiled. "To the senior university. I signed up for a dance class. Figure out your own lunch. If you want to use any of my food in the fridge, pay the market price. The price list is posted on the fridge door." I slammed the door shut. Li Jiangguo rushed to the fridge. He saw a list of food prices posted on the door. Furious, he tore the paper to shreds. At noon, Li Jiangguo's stomach growled. Wrapped in plastic wrap. He opened the fridge and saw everything. It read, "Zhang Yun's personal property. Do not touch." He saw half a block of tofu and a few tomatoes. His finger just touched the plastic wrap. When the price list seemed to appear before his eyes, he angrily shut the fridge door. Li Jiangguo changed his clothes, stuffed his wallet in his pocket, and went out. He picked a Lanzhou noodle shop at the neighborhood entrance. He called out, "Boss, a large bowl of beef noodles, please, and an extra serving of beef." The noodles arrive, steaming hot. He eats until he's sweating profusely. When it's time to pay, the boss says, "That'll be $28. Li Jiangguo's hand freezes as he reaches for his money. "Boss, why did the price of the noodles go up?" The boss explains, "Sir, the price of meat and noodles has gone up. The extra beef alone is $10. Li Jiangguo's heart sinks. He pays, but feels uneasy inside. He remembers when his monthly food expenses were just over $1,000. Every meal had meat and fish. He returns home. The house is cold and quiet. I'm not back yet. He sits alone on the sofa. For the first time, he feels uncomfortable. He turns on the TV. He keeps flipping through channels with the remote. He can't get into any program. He just feels anxious. At 3 in the afternoon, I come back wearing a brand new red dance outfit. My face is slightly sweaty. I look several years younger than in the morning. As I change my shoes, I ask, "Oh, you're back. What did you have for lunch?" Li Jiangguo replies grumpily, "None of your business." I take a plastic bag out of my bag. It contains several steaming hot meat buns. They're from Wang Jie from the dance team's home. I bought 10 for $20. I take out 5, put them on a plate, and place it on the dining table. I pick one up and start eating. The other 5 go into the fridge. Personal items. Area. The aroma of the meat buns wafts over. Li Jiangguo's stomach growls again. He watches me eating with relish. His Adam's apple bobs. Li Jiangguo's stomach growled again. He watched me eat with relish. His Adam's apple bobbed. I noticed him staring. I looked up and said, "Want some? $4 each." No haggling. Li Jiangguo's face flushed bright red. He hissed through gritted teeth, as if I want it. After saying that, bang, he slammed his bedroom door shut. That evening, I made sweet and sour pork ribs, stir-fried shrimp, cucumber salad, and seaweed egg drop soup. I enjoyed the meal all by myself. The aroma was driving Li Jiangguo crazy in his bedroom. He listened intently for any sound from outside, hoping I'd call him for dinner. All he heard was the clinking of dishes, the sound of running water while washing up, and finally, the TV in the living room turning on. I had no intention of feeding him. Li Jiangguo opened his door, looking for food. He saw me lounging on the couch, watching TV, munching on sliced cantaloupe. I saw him come out. I pointed to the ledger on the coffee table. The property management collected utilities today. Last month's water bill was $60. Electricity was $150. Your share is $105. I already paid it. Remember to pay me back. I continued, plus the 85 cents you owe me from yesterday. I didn't cook for you today, so I won't charge you for gas. So in total, you owe me $105.85. Li Jiangguo's lips trembled, speechless. He slunk into the kitchen. The pots and bowls were cleaner than his face. The fridge only had my personal stuff and a few wilted scallions. His last hope vanished. Li Jiangguo's stomach let out a loud protest. In the fridge, aside from my personal stuff, there were only a few wilted green onions. His last hope was dashed. Li Jiangguo's stomach growled loudly in protest. He walked up to me. His voice was as faint as a mosquito's hum. Are there any more steamed buns?" I looked away from the TV. I slowly stood up and took that bag of buns from the fridge. I looked at him and said, 4. $16. Cash or transfer? Li Jianguo fished out a $20 bill and slapped it on the coffee table. Just as he was about to take the buns, I pulled my hand back. I took out 4 $1 bills from my wallet and handed them over. Your change, $4. Li Jianguo brushed my hand aside and said angrily, keep the change. With that, he snatched the buns and stormed back to the bedroom. I looked at the $4 scattered on the floor, shook my head, bent down to pick them up, and smoothed them out, then carefully put them back in my wallet. For the next few days, Li Jianguo refused to buy food from me. He went downstairs every day for fast food or bought plain buns and pickles to get by. In less than half a month, he'd spent over $2,000 from his pension. Seeing his bank balance shrink on his phone, it made his heart ache. He started getting constipated from the stress. He was completely listless. He started missing the home-cooked meals I made and the honey water I forced him to drink every day. His clothes piled up for a week with nothing to wear. He reluctantly washed them himself. He just threw all the whites and colors into the washing machine together, poured in half a bottle of detergent, and his favorite white shirt ended up looking like a painter's palette, stained with the color from a red sock. He was so mad he wanted to smash the washing machine. Li Jianguo came to argue with me. Look at this piece of junk washing machine you bought. I was in the living room, following a yoga video. I glanced at him and said, the washing machine works fine. You just don't know how to use it. You have to separate darks and lights. Li Jianguo said with righteous indignation. How was I supposed to know? I stopped and looked at him. You could have asked me if you didn't know. A consultation fee, $20 a session. Guaranteed to teach you until you get it right. Li Jianguo almost spit blood. He looked it up online for a long time himself, washed the rest of the clothes and hung them on the balcony. They were hanging crooked, dripping water. He made a total mess of the floor. After he left, I quietly mopped it up and noted in the ledger, Li Jianguo polluted the common area. Fined $50. When Li Jianguo saw the ledger, he almost fainted from anger. He started missing the old days, coming home to hot meals every day, someone to do the laundry and mop the floors. That night, he tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. From the next room came the sound of me laughing on a video call. Li Jianguo couldn't help but get up and knocked on my door. Zhangyun, are you asleep? The laughter inside stopped. I asked warily, what do you want? Li Jianguo lowered his voice. I just wanted to tell you something. Tomorrow is my comrade Lao Lu's 60th birthday. He invited both of us for dinner. I said coldly, you go. I'm not going. Li Jianguo got anxious. Why not? Lao Lu is so close to our family. How am I supposed to explain it to him if you don't go? I spoke up. Why not? Old Lu is such a good friend of our family. How am I supposed to explain it if you don't go? If I go, he's your comrade in arms, not mine. I'm not close with him. Hosting him before was my duty as a wife. Now with this AA system, I don't have that obligation anymore. I added, if you insist I go, fine. My appearance fee is $200 an hour. Travel and gift money are extra. You pay the bulk, I'll cover a small part. Li Jianguo was stunned. He stood frozen outside the door, his hands still in a knocking position. The next day, Li Jianguo went to old Lu's birthday banquet alone, explaining that I wasn't feeling well and couldn't make it. During the feast, old Lu's wife, Miss Wang, came over with a glass. She asked with concern, Jianguo, are you and Zhangyun having a fight? Miss Wang said bluntly, I heard from old Lu you're doing AA. Have you lost your mind? Zhangyun has endured a hard life with you all these years. Has your conscience been eaten by dogs? The comrades and their families nearby all looked over. Li Jianguo's face flushed bright red. He picked up his glass and downed it in one gulp. He said awkwardly, Miss Wang, you've had too much to drink. Everything's fine at home. He ate the rest of the meal without tasting it. When he got home and opened the door, he smelled food. Thinking I'd left him a meal, he walked to the dining room and looked. The table was empty. Only my used bowl and chopsticks were in the sink. A wave of disappointment hit him. He walked into the living room and saw me video chatting with our daughter, Li Ting. Li Ting smiled and waved from the screen. Dad, you're back. How was the birthday banquet? Li Jianguo responded weakly. He sat down on the sofa. Li Ting changed the subject. Dad, I heard about it. You and Mom are going Dutch. Li Jianguo glared at me. It must have been me who told on you. But I pretended not to see it. Speaking to the screen. Ting Ting, your dad says this is how modern couples get along. Gotta keep up with the times. Li Ting laughed from the other end of the screen. Well, Dad, you gotta stick with it then. Lao Wang and I go Dutch. Every time he has me wash his socks, I charge him $50 for labor. Li Ting said seriously. Dad, it's because you're my dad that I'm telling the truth. You've spent your whole life with Mom. You know what she's like, don't you? If she had any selfish motives, she wouldn't have managed your salary card all this time. Li Jiangguo was left speechless, furious and embarrassed. You brat, watch your mouth. I'm your father. Just then, Li Jiangguo's phone rang. It was his younger brother Li Jianzhen calling. Brother, are you home? I'm at the gate of your neighborhood. Come down and get me. Li Jiangguo's heart sank. He braced himself and went downstairs. He saw Li Jianjun and his wife. Their son Li Hao was at the door with bags of luggage. Li Jianjun came forward with a smile and called out, Brother. As Li Jianguo helped them with their things, he asked, what brings you here? Without even calling ahead, Li Jianzhen's wife chimed in. Hao got a job in the city. He's gonna be staying with you from now on. We'll need you and your wife to look after him. Li Jianguo's head spun. I'm gonna be staying with you for a while. I'll need you and your wife to look after me. Li Jianguan's head started buzzing. He led them inside. When he heard they wanted to stay long term, his voice changed. What? Stay with us? I was sitting on the sofa, prepping vegetables. I glanced up at the commotion, and kept working. I didn't even greet them. Li Jianzhen's wife Wang Guxiang warmly grabbed my arm. Sister-in-law, Hao is your nephew. He doesn't know the area. Where else would he stay? I subtly pulled my arm back. I patted the vegetable bits off my hands and stood up. I looked at Li Jianguan and said, Li Jianguan, these are your guests. You handle it. I carried the vegetable basket straight into the kitchen, leaving the whole family in the living room. The atmosphere instantly became extremely awkward. Li Jianjun rubbed his hands and said to Li Jianguan, Brother, look at this. Is sister-in-law unhappy? Li Jianguan tried to act tough. She's just like that. But he was panicking inside. He quickly tried to smooth things over. Please sit down. We'll discuss the accommodation later. Li Jianguan settled them on the sofa. He slipped into the kitchen and whispered, Zhang Yun, what are you doing? My brother came all this way, and you didn't even smile. I kept washing the vegetables, and said coldly, why should I smile for them? They're your brother, not mine. We agreed on splitting expenses. Remember, hosting your guests is your responsibility. Li Jianguan asked, well, about Hao staying here. I cut him off. That's your business. Li Jianguo asked, what about Hao staying here? I cut him off. I said firmly, I don't agree. This house is marital property. We each own half. I have the right to refuse anyone I don't like. I held up 2 fingers. First, you buy out my half of the property. The house is yours. You can let anyone stay. I'll move out immediately. I continued. Second, he can stay, but he pays market rent. Xiao Yang's room is 1,500 a month, utilities included. Payment up front. Li Jianguo exclaimed. Are you crazy? He's my own nephew. How can you charge him rent? What will people think of our family? My gaze was icy cold. Your family's reputation isn't worth my peace of mind. Before, you helped them with our shared money. Not anymore. Then, Wang Guxiang's loud voice came from the living room. Hey, brother, what are you whispering about with sis-in-law? Hao is hungry. What's for lunch? Li Jianguo jolted. He looked at me pleadingly, but I took out my own ingredients and started making my lunch. Li Jianguo slunk out of the kitchen. He forced a smile and said, we don't have anything prepared at home today. How about I take you all out to eat? Li Jianjun and Wang Guxiang's faces fell instantly. Wang Guxiang said unhappily, Brother, what do you mean? We come to your house and you want us to eat out? Just then, the smell of braised pork wafted. You invite us over and then make us eat out? Just then, the aroma of braised pork wafted from the kitchen. I came out carrying a bowl of braised pork, a plate of greens, and a bowl of rice. I sat at the dining table and started eating, ignoring everyone. Wang Guxiang couldn't help but stand up and walk over to me. She said with a fake smile, Sis, you made something delicious and you're keeping it all for yourself. Make more so we can all share. It's better that way. Wang Guxiang reached out to grab an empty bowl. I smacked her hand with my chopsticks, making a sharp, smack sound. Everyone was stunned. I looked up at Wang Guxiang coldly. Want some? Sure. $80 for a serving of braised pork. $5 for a bowl of rice. Pay first for however many servings you want. Wang Guxiang clutched her reddened hand, staring at me in disbelief. Sis, you hit me. I put down my chopsticks. My gaze was sharp. Hitting you was the least of it. You come in without a proper greeting, sit down and immediately try to take advantage. Who do you think you are? This is my house, not yours. I pointed at Li Jianjun and his family of 3. They show up wanting to move in long term, demanding to be taken care of. You're trying to be a big shot, using my house and my money to fill a bottomless pit. Does that make any sense to you? I walked to the coffee table and picked up the ledger and a pen. Your brother's family of 3 is staying here. Rent is $3,000 a month. Food expenses are $3,000 a month. Utilities and fees are $500. That's $6,500 total. Just right to use your pension. Li Jianguo was completely dumbfounded, looking at the numbers in the ledger, as if doused in cold water. Perfect timing for your pension. Li Jianguo was completely stunned, looking at the numbers in the ledger, as if drenched in cold water. Li Hao, young and impulsive. He grabbed his luggage and said, Bro, let's go. We're not staying here. Wang Guxiang also started shouting. Li Jianjun's face turned pale. He looked at me, then at his wife and child, silently picked up his luggage and headed for the door. Li Jianguo stood there, watching their disheveled departure. His heart was filled with mixed emotions. He felt a slight relief. He turned to look at me. I had already returned to the dining table, continuing to eat the slightly cooled braised pork, as if the earlier argument never happened. After Li Jianjun's family left, the house fell into dead silence. Li Jianguo sat on the sofa like a deflated ball. His mind was chaotic. For the first time, he clearly realized his pension was insignificant compared to living expenses. How did I support this family for decades? After finishing my meal, I cleaned up the dishes. I took a small suitcase from the bedroom, started packing clothes into it. Li Jianguo suddenly stood up. You, what are you doing? I folded clothes without looking back. Going on a trip. I signed up with my dance team sisters for a tour, going to Guilin for a week, leaving tomorrow. Li Jianguo froze. A trip? Why didn't you discuss it with me? I looked up at him like he was an idiot. Why should I discuss it with you? I'm spending my own money to go where I want. Do I need your approval? AA system. You forgot.